Hello out there. We're on the air. We got a different setup today, as you can possibly tell. Well, thanks, Arnie. Thanks for showing up today for work. My laptop just decided yesterday that didn't want to work anymore. Wouldn't connect to the internet. It wouldn't even bring up any networks in the house. So we got a bit of a Mickey Mouse setup today. I don't have Zapstream up or anything, but I'm going to try to get it on my phone here because we can't leave the Zap streams out. That's for sure. Let me just double check that we're live over there. Zap.stream. Okay, where are we here? Okay. Oh, we are. We had an old title, but we're live over on Zapstream. Right on. All right, let's Fat Zap Friday on a Monday. That's okay. I'm not able to change it today. Okay, how do I even get back to StreamYard here? All right. Well, I think that probably for the next little while until we can until this thing starts working, I think I'm gonna have to get a USB Ethernet adapter and plug it in directly. I think that's a play. I don't know for sure. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to get a new laptop, but I don't think that's in the cards right now. So we're on the, I got the camera, I got the microphone here. Can you guys hear me and see me good? Just maybe we should double check that. It looks like we're good, but. Okay, well, let's get to it here. We got Josh in the chat this morning. Morning, Josh. Jordan Arn checking in from Ontario for some education. Okay, it looks like we're good. Okay, good. The unknown disciple would be funny if DeepSeek managed to liquidate Sailor. Well, we're going to talk about that in a sec. Let's revisit that. Oh, a bit fuzzy this morning. The mouse appears to be working kind of on its own schedule here as well today. Ian says, happy Monday, gang. Jor and the star of the show, Arnie, who's already gone. The co-host, the star of the show. Killer, good morning, my friend. Oh, I thought I forgot my coffee. That would have been the end of it. Okay, let me get this shared to Zapstream here or nostr while we're thinking about it. All right, so today's show, by the way, this is the daily Bitcoin journey. Why am I so bad at doing that? This is the daily Bitcoin journey. I just kind of assume that everybody's here has been here before, but that's not always the case. So I need to be a little bit better than that. This is the daily Bitcoin journey. This show focuses on actionable and logical discussion for Bitcoiners and for future Bitcoiners. And we're actually going to be, I might be changing that soon. I like the logical part. I like the actionable part, but we're going to start doing much more than just Bitcoin discussion here. I feel like we're kind of in a spot right now where we need to focus more on earning sats than buying sats. And so earning, growing our sats, and securing those sats. That's kind of what this, as we go forward here, that's going to be the main focus here. I just feel like there's enough Bitcoin shows that are talking about like the latest topics and breaking news and, you know, explaining, getting people's conviction up within Bitcoin. So what I want to focus more on going forward is like, how do we grow our own stockpile? How do we increase the amount of Bitcoin that we have today and in the future coming in? Plus, most importantly, how do we keep that Bitcoin safe? So I think that that's kind of going to be what we're focusing on here. That's what it's been for the last little while. We just haven't really officially changed the description of the show. But I feel like nobody here needs to be convinced to buy Bitcoin. That's kind of what my logic is here. I know we'll probably get some, you know, new people who are typing Bitcoin into Google, who are seeing Trump talking about it, seeing Larry Fink talk about it. But I feel like most people who watch the show don't need to be convinced to buy Bitcoin. We need to learn how to earn more Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin that we have, keep that Bitcoin safe. Cleaning Machine, good morning. Charlie Dunn, good morning to you as well. Buck 52,000's in the chat. We got Ginger and we got Marco. Greetings from Germany. Can someone update me why it's called 88 Sats Radio? Why exactly 88? Well, 88 Sats, 88 itself is the year I was born. So it's kind of the originating aspect of it. But then it's actually spawned off of the 88 Sats project, golf and Bitcoin project that we started in 2023. Zapstream, I'm just checking in on you right now. I see Letha's over there. I see somebody else is as well. NPub. We got a couple people watching on Zapstream this morning. And this is also, no, wow. This camera's backwards or something. This is the YouTube, and I got Arnie's wallet right here today. So we get to see the Zaps coming in live on the show. A big green light shows up. But yeah, that's 88 Sats. That's we're going to be talking about 88 Sats project more. We actually have a couple spots that are going to be open up soon. And kind of the idea behind the 88 Sats project was that we found 88 people. So we got 88 shareholders. Everybody contributed some Bitcoin. And our long-term goal, probably in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to be buying our own golf course. That was kind of the plan. I had a couple different intentions with it. Number one was to kind of educate people within my personal network about Bitcoin being like a longer-term vision of it versus like a get-rich-quick thing. The second part was just to get more people into Bitcoin from my network. And I thought it would just be a really fun project experiment, and so far so good. We bought it pretty much at the bottom, $15,000 or $16,000, and that was 2 years ago. So people have pretty much 5x or 6x their investment so far, and it looks like we're going to be, I think anyways, we're going to be getting a golf course, which is going to be wild. So we still got some years. I would say that we're probably 5 years away from it still, but it's going to happen. So that's where it comes from. Then this channel was kind of spawned off of that. And then I decided to do a Bitcoin show later on after that. Socks are on. Don't worry, Ian, we're good. 1988. Yes, that's right. Dale says, good morning, y'all. I'm moving to Rumble to tune into 88 Sats Radio. Rumble owns Bitcoin. YouTube does not. Amen to that, Dale. That's a great call. Okay, let me check on Rumble. Dale, let me know if you're watching on Rumble. If you can comment over there, just do that quickly. All right, pour yourself a coffee and join Arnie and I. Kind of. Arnie's kind of off and on today. He's partially here for some Bitcoin talk. See you on the Zap stream. All right. You ever try doing something when you're live on the internet? It's not easy. Not easy to do. It's pretty stressful, honestly. It shouldn't be, but it is. Okay. Stream. There we go. Okay. Now let's see. I'm going to pull up the Zap stream on my phone here. Okay, there we go. It was Tom. That's who it was. All right, so we got Tom's over there. We got Letha. We got Stack Jaro, Legend, who I'll tell you about in just a sec. And we got Bodie, Morning Team Bitcoin. Bodie says, Jor, once we are ready to move off of YouTube, what's your preference going for where to find 88 Sats? Well, I think we still got quite a while before we're off of YouTube. Arnie's just doing laps today. Looks like he found a little spot to lay. All right, Dale, are you over there? Can you hear me? Yep, there he is. Bitcoin YQR is in the Rumble chat this morning. Okay, cool. Cool. Except the only shitty thing about that is I can't bring up the live chats from there, but that's okay. We can say it out loud. Bunny, good morning. The unknown disciple says, is there an alternative to YouTube that's nostr based? Yes, there is. There's many. I shouldn't say many, but there is for sure. Zapstream. That's what we stream on every day. Just go to zap.stream. Or depending on which nostr client you use, you can actually watch it directly. Like I'm watching it from Amethyst right now. I'm watching the chat. And so if you're actually, I'll give you two ways to do this. The first one is if you're on Amethyst, if you have an Android, that's what I suggest getting is Amethyst. And we're going to be talking about nostr a lot here going forward. This might become a nostr show actually. But to me, it's so important. I think that Bitcoin will succeed without nostr, but nostr is like the perfect, I call nostr the social layer of Bitcoin. It's what's going to connect everybody in it. And actually on the Bitcoin Amigo show on Friday, we talked about nostr could become something similar to like the Silk Road, except more private, which is kind of cool. So anyways, from Amethyst, this is the nostr client, and maybe I'll throw it in the chat quickly so you have the spelling of it. Know where to look in the App Store, Amethyst. But if you go down to the bottom there, oh, hold on. You can't even see that. I don't know, like it's the same webcam, but it's for some reason it's acting different today. And it's not there. Anyways, at the bottom menu there's a little thing that looks like a broadcast, like a signal. And then you can actually click live at the top. In the middle, you can't see that either. Live, and then you can see the show here. That's from Amethyst. And then also, if you're using, if you're on iOS, you can use an app called nostr, which is nostur. And you can actually watch streams directly from nostr. I don't know if that's a French name or what that is, but nostr. Wow, this mouse sucks. I don't know what's going on here. I'm so out of sync right now. Okay. Let's keep her going here. I'm using the laptop only today. Mert says, hello, Jor. Good morning to America. All right. Good morning, America. What's Arnie doing? Oh, he's snoozing. Good. Staying out of the plants today. Hey, good morning, Renita. Good to see you. One of our Bitcoin journeymen here, Renita. Great to see you this morning. Marco says, how would you guys orange pill a friend within 60 seconds? Oh, I'll stop you right there. You can't. I'd say that to truly get somebody interested in Bitcoin, they have to be there first. They have to be there on their own terms. They have to be the ones looking at the information. And there's really nothing that you could say that would entice somebody to buy Bitcoin or, start looking into Bitcoin in 60 seconds, I don't think. So, yeah, I don't know what the answer to that is. Actually, on that note, I think it was V. So over the weekend, there was actually 2 interviews posted that oh, here we go. Here's a fat zap for the morning. Look at this. We got zaps for the content and Arnie. All your stuff is much appreciated, buddy, from Ian. Thank you, Ian. Ian E, right here. Legend. Reminded me to get my socks on and sending a fat zap this morning of 5,888 sats. What a great number. Thank you, Ian. That's awesome, my friend. So on the weekend, I had 2 interviews that came out with me. Number 1 was with a guy named V. His channel is called V Trades. And that was a good one. I actually talked about orange pilling friends in that one and kind of my thoughts on it. And then we actually had a second interview that came out that was with Paula from the Bitcoin Edge. And that was a really good chat, actually. Both of them were good chats. So they asked me a couple questions that I've never been asked, and we talked about a couple topics that I've never really talked about. So if you got some time today, if you're looking for more Bitcoin stuff, you can check out V Trades. I tell you that I'm going to put in the show notes, but I'll probably forget to. So you can just you can just search V Trades, or what was the other one I said? Bitcoin Edge. Bitcoin Edge with Paula. Great chats. All right. So we got Zap Stream is here. We got the chat, and we got, okay, we're okay. We're okay. Bodie, good morning, buddy. Bodie's in both chats this morning. And good morning, Paul. He says, good morning, soldiers. Scarpelli, what do we got here? Oh, by the way, Paul, thank you for the Zap on the weekend. I got your email. I saw we got a meeting set up this week, and I received your Zap. So thank you for that. Very much appreciated. And somebody else sent, I think it was 20,000 sats on Friday. I don't know who it was from. Anonymous Zap. So thank you for that. Look at this. What a great. Oh, hold on. Where'd that go? Oh. Arnie's ball. These, if you got a, by the way, let me do a free ad for Chuck It here. Maybe I should get in touch with Chuck It. But this is what I really want to start doing, is I really want to just start promoting companies that I like, that I use. Chuck It is one of those brands. I don't, Arnie's coming right in here now. Sorry, buddy. There you go. You good? Yeah, you're good. You're good. Chuck It is the name of it. And Arnie, if you got a dog like Arnie that basically destroys everything that you buy him, give the Chuck It balls a run. We have a blue one. I think it smelled like peanut butter. We got a green one. I think it smelled like butterscotch or something. And then we got a couple orange ones as well, because I think dogs only see orange and blue, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, those balls are high end. They're great to throw, play with, and he hasn't destroyed them yet. He chews on them all day. So anyways, that's what I want to start doing more of on this show, is not really finding a sponsor. I'm going to make this kind of like a declaration for the channel here going forward. But I'm never going to like advertise or promote a company when they reach out to me. It's always going to be either I'm just doing it for free because I like their product, or I reach out to them and say, hey, I love your product. Do you want to work together on the channel? So that's where I'm going with this. I think that too many channels have lost their voice, lost their way, because they're too worried about appeasing to their sponsors. And so I'm going to go in a different direction with this, but I'm still going to promote companies, especially Bitcoin companies, but it's going to be on my own terms. There's going to be zero strings attached to it. That's where I'm going. And I hope you're going to come along with me. So Chuck It. Make sure you check that out. I don't have an affiliate link or anything like that, but Chuck It. You can get the balls on Amazon too. Okay. Scarpelli says, been wanting to try out Liquid, albeit on-chain fees are so cheap right now. Lightning is great, but the fees sometimes add up. I would actually encourage everybody out there to try out Liquid. And not just try it out. Definitely try it out. Aqua Wallet is actually the most compatible wallet for Bitcoin, Lightning, Liquid, and you can actually hold USDT on there as well, Tether. But definitely everybody in this group should have Aqua Wallet. I think that's the most functional, versatile wallet that I've been sharing with people. I love the Aqua Wallet. And the nice thing about the Aqua Wallet is it has Liquid capabilities with it. So start looking into Liquid a little bit. Just watch some videos on it. Do a little bit of your own research on Liquid. It's a very good way to keep some Bitcoin that you might be spending one day, or you're trying to be a little bit more private with. Let's just say that. Definitely check out Liquid though. Highly recommend. All right, let me check this out. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a Liquid expert yet. I plan to become one though. I'm going to become an expert on liquid. It makes a lot of sense to me. The structure of it, not really the structure, but the concept behind it makes a lot of sense to me. East Dog says, rising from the Sunshine State. What's the Sunshine State? Is that California? And there's a lot of people from California. I would say like the majority of my audience would be 50% from maybe 50 to 60% just from Canada and California alone. So I think, is that the Sunshine State? Someone correct me there. I don't know. Hey, look at this. We got, wow, Lock Sky. So I do want to give a couple more shout outs here. Oh, it's Florida. Okay. Sunshine says, hey, Sunshine's over in the Zap stream. Okay. Sunshine. Yeah, that makes sense. Florida. Okay. Florida also has some legends there as well. But Lock Sky, I want to give a big shout out to Lock Sky. They have been very generous to the channel here. They're a member themselves, and they've gifted probably close to 25 or 30 88 Sats radio memberships for the channel. So thank you, Lock Sky. I very much appreciate that, and it is definitely not unnoticed here. Thank you. And the other thing I was going to mention was, one of the fellas here in Zapstream this morning, Stack Jaro. Stack Jaro has officially become the highest, well, not on this channel, but on the Bitcoin Amigos. Sent a zap for 150,000 sats on Friday. I'm pretty sure it was on this Friday. Yes, it had to have been. 150,000 sats. Very, very generous of Stack. What a great name too, Stack Jaro. I don't think it's Stack Jaro. I think it's Stack Jaro. Reminds me of Whiskey in the Jarro. Is that a song? I think it is. Who is that? Metallica. Stack Jaro. So that was 150,000 sats. That's a record for my ecosystem. But the channel here still belongs to BitBelly. 105. Maybe it'll be topped. Maybe it won't be. We'll see. Buck 52,000 says almost tax time in the US. People are going to be getting tax returns and putting them into the crypto market. That's probably true if they're smart anyways. Yeah, I didn't even think of that though. For those that file income taxes. I mean, I better move on from that. Asylum. Hi, George. DeepSeek has discounted Bitcoin today. Yeah, let's get into DeepSeek for quickly here. So DeepSeek, that is the new threat. That is the new buzzword in Bitcoin today. It just seems like one thing after another, doesn't it? It just seems like no matter what, every single day or every single week of our life, there's always something that's the next Bitcoin, or there's always some sort of threat to Bitcoin, or some sort of look over here. Last week it was Trump coin, XRP. This week it's DeepSeek. And all of these things are designed to do, all that they're designed to do is distract you. That's it. Because if everybody had the realization, the truth of the matter here is that the only thing financially related, the only thing that matters right now is Bitcoin. That's it. There's literally nothing else. I wouldn't even say MicroStrategy is a big deal right now compared to Bitcoin. And MicroStrategy is the biggest deal in the stock market. But compared to Bitcoin, it's a joke. Truly. Like Bitcoin is the only thing that anybody should be talking about right now. It is the only thing that people should be thinking about right now. It is the only thing that people should be trading their time and energy for is Bitcoin. That's it. All of this is just a distraction from Bitcoin. Everything else. I don't know what DeepSeek is. I don't really give a shit. Last week I put out a video talking about NVIDIA, basically saying that NVIDIA is the most overpriced asset in the market. Its future is uncertain. There's a lot of attack vectors, and within a week, I was proven correct. DeepSeek, I didn't know what the hell DeepSeek was last week, but I said, Like, you have no idea how competitive this space is that OpenAI or what do they even call it? NVIDIA is competing in. Like, they're competing against the biggest tech giants on the planet, and they have 90% market share right now. There's only down to go with NVIDIA. When you got 90% of the market share, where do you go? You can't go up from there. The industry grows, yes, absolutely. But nothing is even going to come close to Bitcoin over this next decade. And anybody who tells you differently is either a 0 hours dipshit or they're lying to you. One of the two. Yeah, agree with this, Chad. Marco says, I've not heard of anyone being orange pilled within 60 days, let alone 60 seconds. That is true. Yeah, this is kind of how much and this is a really good comment from Sunshine right now. I think that this is important to understand. Sunshine says NVIDIA is worth 30 million Bitcoin. It might be more than that, actually. I think it's more than that. Can someone do some quick math on that? Can someone take the market cap of NVIDIA and divide it by the price of Bitcoin? So take the market cap of NVIDIA divided by, just do 100,000. Just keep it simple. And let me know how much Bitcoin NVIDIA is worth right now. It's a joke, whatever it is. They have like a PE, price to earnings ratio of in the 50s. That basically means if you bought one share of NVIDIA, it's going to take you 50 years to recoup that investment. Like, it's an actual joke. Like, we're going to look back on this time right now, almost like they look, well, even more so actually. But you know how, like, looking back on the 2008 financial crisis with like the Big Short and how they documented it all and how there's like people who knew that it was coming. It was like inevitable that it was coming, while the rest of the world was focused on, the game, the NFL playoffs and shit like that. This is going to be the Big Short times probably 1,000. And we're going to look back in a decade from now and just kind of laugh at like how obvious it was about how this whole thing was coming down. And you had this thing over here called Bitcoin that made so much sense to anybody who was paying attention. And the rest of the world was just, completely oblivious to it. Okay, what do we got here? We got a couple zaps coming in. A couple fat zaps coming in hot, spreading the love, hitting the spot. That's one of my favorite lyrics from the Bitcoin Amigos. Okay, what do we got here? We got 888 sats. It said aloof, mischievous, and loyal. Here's to you, Arnie. Oh, that's very nice. Great comment too. And we got a zap from, I don't know who, 121 sats. We got another zap from Zapstream of 288 sats. And we got a zap from Zapstream for 300 sats. So thank you for that, everybody. Let's see if I can see who that was. Should be able to, if they show up. Plunger was the 300 sats, and said a zap for using the phrase 0 hour dipshit. Spaceman was the one who sent in 288 sats, and the other one still hasn't loaded for 121. But anyways, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, what else do we have here? Sorry, I'm trying to keep up here, but it's pretty tough. Timber Crasher, good morning, buddy. Zapstream is more like Twitch. It is kind of, but it's a nostr client, or not a nostr integrated, I should say. Jay, good morning, buddy. Let's fucking grow. Cheers. Again, I kind of mentioned it at the start of the show, but that is going to be one of the one of our main focuses going forward here. Growth and security. That's what I want to be known for within the Bitcoin space. Growth in terms of growing your Bitcoin stack, and security in terms of securing your Bitcoin stack. Django, good morning. And Dirty Scant says, show them the Bitcoin to dollar chart. Yeah, that's a pretty quick Pretty quick orange pill for people. Mert says people orange pill themselves, actually. We just show them the door. Opening the door is on their shoulders. Truth. Very much truth there. Jay says you can tell them it's their way to preserve the spending power of the fiat they've already earned. Yep. I think it was Jack Mahler's actually who said Bitcoin's basically just getting to keep your money. That's pretty good to me. That sounds pretty good to me. Yeah, they have to discover Bitcoin on their own. They have to discover Bitcoin, and they have to discover that there's a need for Bitcoin first and foremost. Juan says, "Hola, amigo. Could you recommend me a website where I can start earning sats?" Yeah, actually, that's a good question. And I'll give a quick little plug here because there's a question. I feel like I get to plug myself here a little bit. So one of the things that I've been putting, and it's actually taken quite a bit of my time, more than I expected, but I've been doing the 365 days of Bitcoin, and this is day 27. So far there's 26 videos in there for people. They're all about 10, 15 minutes long. I'd say that's kind of the average, but I did a full show on earning Bitcoin on one of them. So I would say that the 365 days of Bitcoin course is for three types of people. Number one is people who are brand new to Bitcoin. I basically started at day zero in terms of like what Bitcoin is, what gives it value, how to buy it, how to send it, what to watch out for when you're sending it, how to store your private key, all these different things. So somebody who's brand new to Bitcoin, 0 days in Bitcoin, a 0 hours dipshit would be a perfect candidate for the 365 days of Bitcoin. But the second one too is somebody who actually has some Bitcoin, has some knowledge around Bitcoin, but they kind of just want to take it a step further with it. And if you're kind of the Bitcoiner in your family, then I think that you should consider doing something like this, whether it's this or something else. You need to have the understanding of it. You need to have the conviction. You need to have the knowledge of how to store it properly to make sure that your family has it in 50, 100, 500 years from now. Plus, when you get that education, you can start to spread it. You can share it with your family. You can share it with your friends. And when people come to you about Bitcoin, you're going to be much better off than you were. And then the third one is for somebody who is either has already made a sizable investment into Bitcoin and they're like, okay, what the hell do I do now? Or you're thinking about making a sizable purchase in Bitcoin. And yes, this is it's a longer course. And that kind of goes along with what we've been talking about today, is that Bitcoin's not something that you can learn after watching a 2-hour video or going to a 2-day seminar or a 2-week course. It takes a very deep level of understanding that takes a very long time to obtain. And so I thought that Bitcoin itself has a very long-term focus to low time preference. And I thought that this 365 days of Bitcoin would be a perfect way to kind of coincide with that. So it works out to be about $1 per day in Canada here, and it's less than that as an American or somebody in the UK. So I do encourage you to check that out. You can always, here's the nice thing about it is I didn't put it for like $400. I put it for $21 a month. So if you could watch 27 videos today for $21. And if you don't like it, if you think you've learned enough or you don't like the direction of it, just cancel it. I have zero issues with that. But I think if you are interested in becoming more well-rounded, increasing your conviction, and most of all, your education on how to store your Bitcoin properly, I would recommend it for everybody. And I'm also going to be giving out certificates for anybody who has completed the course. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to be sometime in like November, December, I'm going to set up like a call with everybody who's taken the course and just do like a little, half hour, 1 hour quiz type thing. Let them ask questions. I'll ask them some questions. And then if they pass, they'll get a certificate for completing 365 days of Bitcoin, which today means nothing. Used as toilet paper. But, further down the road, it might end up being something that you put on your resume. So definitely check that out if you're interested. That you can get everything you need is in the show notes every day. And I think I put it right at the top, actually. And you also get Wednesdays. We're going to start doing a private Q&A, and the 365 will be included in that. And hopefully in the next couple days, I'm going to set up a brand new chat on Signal for everybody who's going through the 365 days of Bitcoin. So everybody's going to be at the kind of same level. And you can share resources, you can ask questions, you can answer questions. Really good way to expand your knowledge with that. So anyways, the one thing I will say is get ZBD. And let me just make sure that I have it in the show notes here for you. ZBD, I probably don't. I'll put it at the top though today. Hold on, actually, I'm going to do it right now. So, no, that's the wrong video. But ZBD, I think you get like a small, I think you get an X amount of sats if you sign up using a link. You should be, every time you sign up for anything in Bitcoin, you should always be using somebody's referral code. Otherwise, you're just leaving sats or money on the table. Okay, so we do have 365 days of Bitcoin at the very top here. And I'll just get the ZBD link for everybody. So the one thing I'll say about ZBD, and I want everybody to take this very seriously. I want you to set a reminder in your phone. Let's say it's 2 p.m. every day. Set a reminder in your phone. And what you're going to do with that reminder is you're going to take like 10 or 15 minutes every day. You're going to either, if you're in Canada here, you're going to shake your phone. You're going to take the poll on ZBD, get some free sats. You're going to listen to a song on Wavelake, and you're going to turn on a podcast on Fountain. And maybe you'll even watch a couple ads on ZBD as well. Fuck, ZBD's not even on here either. Where the hell is my thing? Just give me one more second here. So then you just kind of work that into your daily routine, and it's going to seem like not a whole lot when you first start doing it, but I guarantee if you do that for 4 years, you do that every single day for 4 years, you're found. This would be a really cool experiment to do, actually. And I wish I would have done this for the last 4 years myself. But I bet if you took 4 years and you did it every day at 2 p.m. Eastern, or not Eastern time, but 2 p.m. your time. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once here. And you did that every day for 4 years. I guarantee that all the sats you earn for free, for taking polls, for shaking your phone, for listening to a song, all of those sats is going to pay for your kids' school or pay for them to start a business. It's going to be a very sizable amount, honestly. And you shouldn't just be doing it and, kind of forgetting about it. You should actually be keeping track of it. You should be moving it to cold storage. And it would be a very fun experiment, I think, to see how much you can get after 4 years of earning Bitcoin. Here it is right here. Finally got it. My goodness. That was rough. That was rough. Okay. One more thing here. Paste. Okay. ZBD is now officially in the show notes here. So you can sign up, work that into your daily routine, and do it for 4 years. Sunshine says there's also an app called Lolly. You can click a treasure chest and get about 30 to 50 sats per day. I've done it every day for 4 years and I've earned over 100,000 sats. That's what I'm talking about. And so you compound that too, right? So that's one aspect of it. You get 50 to 30 sats per day from Lolly. I think that's only available in the US. ShakePay is the equivalent here in Canada. And so you got that. You get ZBD. You get 10, 15, 20, 50 sats a day from that. You listen to a podcast on Fountain, another 10, 20 sats. You listen to a couple songs on Wavelake, another 10, 20, 50 sats. And you do that every day, same time. Put a reminder in your phone, an alarm, and just do it. It's going to be well worth your time. Do it every day and do it for a long time. And I guarantee you're going to have a huge, you know, if you did that for 10 years, or let's say even 5 years, I think if you did that every day for 5 years, using those 5 sources of free sats every day, I bet you could buy like a new car, which is crazy to me. And then 10 years, you'll get a new house just by doing stuff like that. Very easy. But the hard part is you have to do it every single day. You're not going to make any hay by doing it once today. You're not going to make any hay by doing it for a month. You have to do it every single day as much as you can and for a long time. Redbird says, question. We don't put our Bitcoin private keys on the internet connected devices, but for some reason we put our nostr secret keys into apps and web browsers. What if that thing leaks in any way? It's a really good question. And something that people should be paying very close attention to, especially if you want to take this nostr stuff seriously, which I do. So you do have to think about this stuff. You should be, number one, putting it in like you should be taking your public key, well, your private key for sure, but putting it into like a password manager somewhere. And not just like on your phone in the notes, but like in an actual protected password manager, like Bitwarden, or, I mean, SuperBacked is another perfect example of the nice thing about SuperBacked is it's not just for Bitcoin stuff. You can put all of the important information that you need here. You can put your private key in there. You can put your passphrase. You can put your PIN code. You can put all the information you need to, if you have like a multi-sig, you can put all the information you need to restore that if something were to happen to your laptop, like me. I mean, it just goes to show all these devices are temporary, whether that's your phone, whether that's your laptop, whether that's your external storage device, whether that's your hardware device. All of these things are temporary, and you're going to wake up one day, you're going to go to turn that thing on, and it's not going to work anymore. That's why it's so important to have backups of everything. And so you can put your nostr key in there as well within SuperBacked. So that's one thing I would say on that. Make sure you're protecting that nostr private key. And the second thing I would say is when you are trying different apps on different browsers, just create like a dummy account. And what I mean by that is like you have your main account, your key pair, your main key pair, and then create like a backup of that, like a secondary account. You don't have to post from it. You don't have to follow people. That's how you can try out different clients. Instead of copy and pasting your private key all over the internet between different apps, try it out with like a backup set of keys first, like ones that you've never used or ones that I mean, it's free to do. You can generate as many key pairs as you want on nostr. And there probably will be, again, nostr is so incredibly early right now. And that's kind of why I'm going to be talking about it so much, because I see it as such a huge opportunity right now. But with that means that there's issues with it, right? Like nostr will only get better and better as we go in terms of user experience, in terms of storing your private keys, everything's going to get better as we go. So again, don't wish for that day to come, because when that comes, the opportunity is going to be gone for the nostr. Okay, I see there's another super chat here. Let me scroll down here. What did I miss? Holy shit, what the hell's going on here? Okay, somebody's about to get blocked here. Let me go through some of these comments. Mert. Look at this. We got €5, I think. Is that a euro? Or pounds? I think euro. €5 for helping me not get distracted. Thank you, Mert. Appreciate that, buddy. And I mean, yeah, that's part of what we're here for, is not to get distracted by the bullshit. Stay focused. And I forget where I use this analogy. But I actually really liked it. I think it was actually in the 365 Days of Bitcoin course. But I was talking about laser eyes and the importance of staying focused on Bitcoin only, not to get distracted by the deep seeks, not to get distracted by the XRPs, the Trump coins. Those are all just distractions. And one of my favorite guys, I don't know if you can see him up there or not, Tiger Woods. He used to do this thing when he was reading putts on the green. He'd go like this. He'd like put his hands over his hat like that. And so that would basically means that he's blocking, because you have to remember that Tiger Woods and his prime, even still today, like he had the biggest crowds out of any sport, any athlete in history before. So lots of distractions out there. Worked for him and worked against him. But he would go like this on the greens, and he called it Tiger Vision, where he could only see, all 100% of his focus was on the line of his putt. And he did it pretty much for every shot that he hit. But I think we need to have Tiger Vision for Bitcoin Vision, where you're laser focused on Bitcoin and nothing else matters. Buck 52,000 says, "How did you domesticate that wolf?" Yeah, he does look like a wolf. Somebody said actually, there's been quite a few people who said he looks like Ghost from I forget the show. Lord of the Rings? No, I don't know. Something like that. Something nerdy like that. Game of Thrones, I think. Rick, good morning. Have you smashed a like yet? That's a great question. Have you? If you're on Rumble, put a like, leave a comment. If you're on YouTube, put a like, leave a comment. And if you're on Zapstream, leave a zap. What do we got here? What do we got going on? We got 70 people in here on YouTube, and we got 42 likes. That's kind of sad. Kind of sad ratio there. Alex, good morning. Yes, Lox Guy, thank you again. Very much appreciated. Alex, good morning. Great show. Zap, checkmark, corn. All right. I like it. Moro, good morning. All right, look at this. We got volunteerism. I see a lot of chats here from volunteerism. So we'll give them a shot. We'll give a couple reads here, but I think we're going to be putting volunteerism in a timeout. Most people are never going to run a full node. They might at most run simplified payment verification. That means they do not have to download the blockchain. It's a lightweight alternative. Okay. Have I read the Bitcoin white paper? Yes. Torstein. Whoa, look at this. Bought 217,000 more sats today. Stacking. Hell yeah. That's what we like to see and hear. Congratulations. You've definitely set up your family for the future. Those 217,000 sats are worth more than any of us could even imagine. Hey, Laughpad. Good morning. I got your email last night too. I think it was an email. Good morning, Jor. Liquid seems like a really interesting L2. Yes, it does, doesn't it? Okay, what volunteerism says the Lightning Network requires 130. I feel like there's going to be an ad for something stupid. The Lightning requires 133 megabyte blocks to onboard the world. Okay. Let's keep her going here. Okay, yeah, this is what I knew was coming. This is why Bitcoin had a hard fork for Bitcoin Cash. How do I block this guy? I don't know if I can on here or not. Okay, the Unknown Disciple says, I think for Bitcoin to succeed, we need faster payments and lower fees on chain. Normies aren't going to download a separate wallet and take the time to learn. I think for Bitcoin to succeed, we need faster payments and lower fees on chain. No, we don't. Sorry, I disagree with that. We don't. You don't need it. That's what we have to keep in mind here. Think about what the point of the layer one is. Think of it. What's the point of layer one? Do you want your transactions to be visible to everybody? I don't. Do you want your money to be sent and confirmed in probably half an hour without anybody being able to retract that or do a, what's it called, chargeback on you? Yes. Do you want the network to take its time to confirm that that transaction was actually valid between one valid wallet to another valid wallet? Yes. And do you want to have time that for the whole network to agree that it was? Yes. So you have to keep in mind here that, and you want that information that you put on there that you're paying to put on to layer one, you want that to be there forever. That's the kind of transactions you want on layer one. Slow, secure, and immutable. And you have Lightning for everything else. You don't need, if you went to the gas station to get gas and you wanted to pay in Bitcoin, you don't need that transaction to be recorded forever that everybody can see. Or a meal, or groceries, or anything. You don't want all these transactions to be recorded on the blockchain forever. What's the point? I paid for gas. Congrats. The layer one's going to be used for like bank settlements, countries settling debts with each other. It's going to be used to replace things like bank wires, stuff like that. Very important transactions that you want to be secure, that you want to be legitimate. That's what's going on chain. Everything else we can use on top of that. But the layer one itself is the foundation. It's the bedrock of Bitcoin. And from there you can build upwards, but you have to make sure that that's solid. And if that's not, then everything's broken. And that's kind of what we're living through right now in the world, is a foundation that's completely shattered, which is the US dollar, the fiat dollar, completely shattered. We have no idea how many dollars are out there. We have no idea how many dollars are going to be in circulation next week, a year from now. It's a joke. It's an actual joke that we measure everything in fiat. That's what we've been doing, but we don't need to anymore. You need the foundation to be solid. So I'd see your point of view there, but I disagree. All right, let's not worry about volunteerism here. I don't know how to, oh, yes, I do. Okay, put user in a timeout. Bye-bye. Lightning is not a long-term solution. Well, why? Why isn't it a long-term solution? What's the problem with it? Where do I purchase my Bitcoin? I purchase actually, I shouldn't say all of it, but I purchased the majority of my Bitcoin at Bitcoin Well. So these are kind of my four, I would say four, and I want to start putting like a thing in my show notes for people, just so they can easily access this. If you're in North America, actually, I'll do five. Let's do five. So number one here in Canada for me, Bitcoin Well. That's number one. Bull Bitcoin, second one in Canada here. And 2B, ShakePay, mostly because I use it all the time. I shake my phone for free sats. I use it to pay for pretty much everything that I buy, the ShakePay Visa card, because I earn sats back instead of credit card points or airline miles. So those are the three in Canada here that I suggest. In America, I would suggest River and Strike and Bitcoin Well. Bitcoin Well number one, but I already said that one. So Bitcoin Well is number one in Canada and the US. And then you got ShakePay Bull Bitcoin, and you got River and Strike. And then I would say if you're somewhere else in the world, or if you're somebody who wants to put a significant amount of Bitcoin or buy Bitcoin, a significant amount of Bitcoin, and you don't really know what you're doing yet, you don't want to hold the keys to it yet, you don't know how to store it, you don't know anything about Bitcoin, but you want to buy a bunch of Bitcoin, you can use an over-the-counter exchange called Caleb and Brown. And I usually, I do have it right here. Look at that. I'm actually going to add this to my show notes as well today. I think there's been quite a few people signing up for a Caleb and Brown account. And the one thing I would say, the important thing that I would note here is that even if you don't plan on using them right away, like even if you have zero intentions of buying a bunch of Bitcoin today or tomorrow or this week, I would still suggest getting yourself a Caleb and Brown account. Why is this not loading for me here? It was oh man. You know what really pisses me off? The YouTube just like recommends, like, I don't know. Hold on, let me focus here for a sec. Okay, let me add Caleb and Brown to the show notes here for people in case you want to get an account. Oh, it's already in there. There we go. Okay, so I got the 365, I got the ZBD, and I got the Caleb and Brown link in there. But Caleb and Brown is great because they are an over-the-counter, which means that you can actually pick up the phone and call somebody there, which a lot of people like, including me. I've used Caleb and Brown before. I've used them for several different purchases before. Sometimes they held my Bitcoin and my cryptos at the time, and sometimes I got them to send it to me. I think at the end of it, I just cashed it all out from Caleb and Brown. I don't think they're holding any of my stuff before, but they did for a while. So you pay a little bit higher of a fee, but you get somebody to talk to, and they'll actually store your Bitcoin for you. They use a third-party custodian called Fireblocks, which is a very, very reputable custodian for holding Bitcoin and cryptos, I believe. So that's my recommendations if you're looking to buy some Bitcoin. I'm just looking at the comments here. Cleaner Machine said dipshit of the day. Volunteerism there, yeah. They're the winner. They're the winner today. Dipshit of the day. I don't know how YouTube has been liking that award that I give out. All right, what else do we have here, folks? Dirty Scant says, I like prevent yourself from going poor slowly scheme. Yeah, that's a good one too. Mr. Yofang, good morning. Plastic. Laughpad, I think that guy's a bot or something. Let's ignore him. Timber Crusher says you can play Bitcoin Miner on Android. I get 300 sats a day from the game. Wow. Could you, Timber Crusher, can you send me a link to that, please? Your referral link, and maybe I'll mention on the show this week if it's legitimate. Hey, look who's back. Oh, he's hiding his head. He's hiding his head in shame. Not enough sats today. He's probably going to go crazy right away. Whenever he buries his head like that, he's about to go crazy. All right. What a crazy guy. Oh, man. Arnie needs his own channel. There he is. Arnie needs his own channel. All right, what else we got in the chat today? Probably for these next, sorry if this isn't like the most structured show of all time. Probably this week, for sure, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, until I can get a new USB Ethernet adapter. We're probably just going to do like Q&A stuff like this because I usually have my second screen here, but my Mac doesn't even have a fucking HDMI cable to it. So I'm strictly one screen this week. So if you don't like that, I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. Actually, Wednesdays are private Q&As now anyway. So unless you're a journeyman or a living in the future member, you don't really care too much. Fold app is in the US. Yes, that's right. Fold, Lolly, ShakePay. Those are the ones that get you some free sats every day. Oh, here we go. No, so Fold, Lolly, ZBD, that's what I have. Yep, that's a good place to start. Look at this. Timber Crasher says, I'm running a Bitcoin node that only needs 650 gigabytes. A dude in Africa could afford that storage. I'm in the richest country in the world, and I can't afford storage for Bitcoin Cash. True. That was probably the biggest reason why. Oh, there's a fat zap. Hold on, that just lit up. Green, green, green. 5,000 sats from this one. Says, happy Monday morning, Arnie. Love, Fred. Arnie. Okay. Say thank you to Fred. Arnie. Believe this guy? I guess that's not enough for him, Fred. Honestly, my favorite, Arnie's, he's smart. He's a very intelligent dog. Actually, he's been in a little bit of shit here lately, and I've talked about it on the show a little while. But he's been not eating dirt, but we have a big plant in the house. It's like a birds of prey plant, and every day during the show for the last couple of weeks, he's been getting into it. And so we kind of looked at like what's causing him to do that, and it was between two things. Number one was that he was lacking nutrients, and thought that the dirt was good for him. Or the second one was that he's just needs more stimulation and was bored. And I think it was definitely B, because he doesn't eat the dirt. He just kind of takes it out of there, plays with it a little bit, and then goes and hides because he knows he did something bad. But so I think that he's just too smart of a dog. Because if you think about it, like really low IQ dogs, they would be just content with just hanging around all day doing nothing. But he needs stimulation. So I need less Bitcoin and more Arnie by the sounds of it. Okay, everybody's fighting with volunteerism today in the chat. It's good though. We had a Bitcoin Cash try to crash the chat today, and it looks like everybody stood up to him. I guess I didn't really need to block him, but sorry about that. I'm sure he's watching from a different account. All those bots or bot versions of humans, they usually have like 5 accounts. So I'm sure he's watching right now. If you want centralization, use a bank. Correct. Garja says, hi, Jor from Florence, Italy. Always nice listening to your educational stuff. Grazie mille. Everyone joins nostr ASAP. Yeah, shout out to the nostr chat this morning. I don't know how many people we got in there. It doesn't really show up on here, but anyways, big shout out to the nostr fans on here. There's been a lot of people who watch the show join nostr. I usually get a couple messages every week saying, Jor, I'm on nostr. Share my stuff. Give me a boost. And not that I have a huge following on nostr, but I think it helps. Yeah, did you guys see that the XRP blockchain? I think it's missing like 3 weeks worth of transactions in it. Just gone. Gone. XRP, what a joke. I can't believe that people actually gave it that much attention. Jack Mallers did like a 5-minute video. We watched it on the Bitcoin Amigos channel right after it came out. And it's just like, why are we even paying them any attention? Fucking morons. Like if you think that XRP is a good place to put your money, you're a fucking moron. That's it. You're a moron. Jason's running 3 nodes. That a boy. That a boy. All right, sorry. I'm having trouble discerning the Bitcoin Cash stuff from the chat this morning. Okay, Cypher Hive says Satoshi was not a god, but a fallible human. We don't have to religiously implement every idea that he had like it's the best idea. He's not here. It's a good point. It's a good point. And Timbercrasher says Satoshi left us with a gift. He was human and imperfect, but left us with an incredible technology. We do with it as we please. Yeah, and that's kind of why I've been focusing so much on, and actually put a video out about this on the channel yesterday, talking about this exact thing. Is that Bitcoin's not perfect. Satoshi wasn't perfect. Everybody has flaws. Everything has flaws. And we actually, I don't know if anybody here has watched the Bitcoin Amigo show from Friday, but we got into a very heated discussion about the Trump coin and then XRP. And so I encourage you, if you have some time today, to go watch it. I think it's about it was about a 45-minute debate discussion on Trump's coin. And like, is it bad? Should we be mad about it? Should we care about it? It got very heated. It was hilarious, actually, but it got very heated between Chris, Jerry, and myself. And so if you got some time today and you want to be entertained, go listen to that debate with us three talking about it. Two of us thought one way, another guy thought a different way. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. We're just sharing our opinions on it. But anyways, kind of going back to that, it's like with the Satoshi, with Bitcoin layer 1, with Lightning, with everything that we have, with the technology here. I was thinking about flaws there, and we were talking about Trump and flaws and Bitcoin and flaws. But Bitcoin itself is not perfect. It's not. And that's why it's going to be forever evolving. There will be changes to it. Hopefully nothing crazy, but there will be. There will always be new things that come out that get implemented that, make things easier for people, makes things more secure. The covenant thing, which allows you to kind of, I think it's held for like a week before it actually confirms finally. But there's things like that are going to improve Bitcoin, make it easier for people to use Bitcoin. Not necessarily all on layer 1, but there will be changes. And kind of where I'm going with this is that we just have to understand that between Satoshi, between Bitcoin, between Trump, nothing's ever going to be perfect in life. Nothing. Everything's going to have flaws. And it's kind of up to us to realize those flaws and put in our own countermeasures for them. So it's tough. And going back to this, Satoshi left us with the gift. He was human, imperfect, but it's a technology. And it's kind of up to us to not only grow this Bitcoin network, but to actually use the tools that are available to us. And again, a big shout out to the people who are watching this right now on nostr, because nostr is an alternative to the centralized system that we come from. Nostr is the freedom version of that. And I think that, as more and more coin-based lending things come out, as more and more public companies start holding Bitcoin, as more and more apps come out where you can trade Bitcoin for MicroStrategy share or your Apple share or cash, all of these things, as the further we go down that road, the further we get away from the peer-to-peer aspect of Bitcoin, what Bitcoin was truly designed to be. And it is up to us. We are the captain of this ship here called Bitcoin, which is kind of crazy. But between the nodes, between being able to change the blockchain, change the code, and being able to truly own this asset and take self-custody of this ourselves, it is up to us to push this thing forward in the right direction. And over this next decade, we're going to be flooded with easier ways to do things. We're going to be flooded with incentives to store your Bitcoin here and earn a 2% yield on it or 10% yield on it. And, we got to approach that with caution, because that's a very slippery slope. And the further we get down that road of centralization, of convenience, of KYC, the further we get away from Bitcoin. And that's a very important aspect of this thing. Freedom money, the freedom aspect of Bitcoin is really all there is. And if we lose that, we're fucked. Completely. All right, let's see this. Unknown Disciple says, Lightning's limitations is that it requires a channel to be open first, yes, meaning users first must lock up Bitcoin. It's also not scalable for mass adoption because routing liquidity is difficult. I would agree with that. Custodial risk. Most people use the third-party Lightning wallets instead of running their own node. Yep. And failed payments and stuck transactions happen frequently due to network liquidity issues. Well, I think we're going to pass that, honestly. I've been using Lightning every day for almost 2 years now with nostr. And maybe there's been 2 or 3 payments that just didn't work, but that was over a year ago now, I think. I haven't had any issues with that lately. If you're using the right wallet, and if you're using a wallet like Wallet of Satoshi or Speed Wallet or Coinos, those are custodial wallets. Somebody else is holding that for you. You just have the ability to move it back and forth. You don't actually own that Bitcoin. I mean, you do, but you don't. So custodial risk is definitely a problem for sure. Setting up a Lightning node itself, a problem, very difficult for people to do. But again, layer 2, there's going to be solutions. There's already eCash, there's Liquid, there's Lightning. And we're 16 years into this. 5 years ago, I don't think any of this stuff even existed before. So as we go forward here, things will get easier. Things will get more private. But what I'm trying to say here is that we have to actually use these tools if we want to have them around in 10 years from now. We have to. So if you're a Bitcoiner and you're not on nostr yet, you're not helping things. You're not helping things. So that's what I would say. I think it's a good start too. I think there's going to be much better options to come. I agree with you. There are issues. But again, I've been using it for two years now, every single day. And I've hardly had any issues with it. Arnie is probably richer than you. I don't know about that. Hopefully not. We don't need to have a dog with that much wealth. No one dog should have all that power. Hey, Arn? Just completely ignoring me. He knows his name's Arnie. He just doesn't have time for my shit today. Morning, Lori. Was working late to class. That's okay. If you're working, you're adding value, and you're converting that into sats. That's good. It's part of building your own Bitcoin stockpile. XRP is poop. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's 30K. 30,000 of the first transactions on XRP is gone. Wonder what happened there. It's a public company that only exists through marketing and dumping their pre-mine. Yep. If you have any XRP, I'm sorry, but you're a dipshit. You don't have to tell me that you do, but you're a dipshit. Yes, I agree with this. There are actual cryptos that solve issues. XRP is not one of them. That's a great way to put it. Yep. And Brett says, don't let perfect be the enemy of the good. 100%. That's such a relevant and important quote right now. Don't let perfect be the enemy of the good. When you're thinking about Bitcoin, when you're thinking about Lightning, when you're thinking about Trump, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. I mean, it just kind of goes to show where we are right now, how good things are. The things that Bitcoiners are fighting about and arguing about right now only happen when things are really good, right? We're not fighting about, an attack on Bitcoin or whatever. We're fighting about the dumbest shit right now because things are so good and people aren't used to having it good. But at the same time, it's important to, be ready for anything. I think that's what I would say to people is don't get too complacent. Don't get too comfortable. Don't assume that somebody else is going to do this for you. It's up to you. It's up to us. It is, truly. So M. Vincent says, with all the good news on Bitcoin, why would China sell 194,000 Bitcoin after holding since 2019? I didn't see that. I did not see that today. But that's good. It's good news. Good news for anybody who isn't the Chinese government. All right, where's Zapstream here? What's going on, Zapstream? What do we got in here? We got 13 people over here. All right, I'm watching Zapstream. Don't worry. You're up on my phone. Mike says, yo, from Belfast. Morning, Mike. Oh, Belfast. What a place. I think Belfast, actually, Belfast is an important part of Bitcoin's history. It is. Do you know why? Because I believe the Titanic, did the Titanic launch from Belfast? Is that where the launching point was? I actually went to the Titanic Museum in Belfast. I would say overrated. It was kind of interesting, but it seemed like we got a little bit ripped off there. I think we paid like $70 a ticket, maybe. No, maybe not. Maybe 30 euros. It was a underwhelming experience, but how it relates to Bitcoin is that, yeah, okay, that's right. I was right. So that's actually where the Titanic took off from, Belfast, and that they're actually the port that it left from is right outside of the museum there. So how that relates to Bitcoin is because if you know the actual history of the Titanic, there was two ships, the main Titanic and the sister ship. And there was a bunch of people on the Titanic that were opposed to the Federal Reserve. So you can kind of form your own conclusions based off of that. But there was this group who wanted to roll out the central bank, the Federal Reserve, and there was a bunch of people who didn't want that to happen, a bunch of people who were very influential decision makers. And so they put them on an unsinkable ship in the middle of the ocean, the people who were opposed to the Federal Reserve. That was back in 1911. And then 2 years later, after the Titanic sank, the Federal Reserve was created in 1913, Jekyll Island. And so since then, we've had 111 years of a small group of people creating money for the world. And that's what ended up, that's what led to Bitcoin. Because if that never happened, there would be no need for Bitcoin. If we were still in the gold standard, if governments weren't massive and, controlling and surveilling and creating money and devaluing our money, there would be no need for Bitcoin. So Belfast actually plays a big part in Bitcoin's history. And if you got some time, look into the Titanic, the real story of the Titanic. Alex says hodl hodl and RoboSats very important. Yes, and Bisq actually. If you're looking for some under the counter or under the table sats. Folsom says I didn't see that anywhere. Neither did I. Yeah. And this is going to be the trend going forward. Laughpad says the best part about them dumping 194,000 Bitcoin and the market just gulped it up without even falling in price. Yeah, we're back at 101 already. Anyways, I didn't see that, so I don't really want to confirm that. That is complete speculation here that China's dumping coins. But yeah, anyways, China, just like anybody else selling Bitcoin, have fun staying poor. All right, what was the main thing I wanted to talk about today? Where is the Zap stream? All right, we got 16 people over in Zap stream. What do I have here, folks? Ooh, this was an interesting one I saw. This was an interesting thing that I saw today. It was on Twitter. And it said, did you know you can put Bitcoin on a wallet and just hand that wallet over to somebody with the PIN as a form of payment with no taxes? Did you know that? You can put Bitcoin on a wallet and just hand that wallet over to somebody else with the PIN as a form of payment with no taxes. I mean, I don't know if that's an official tax rule. I don't think that it is. Doesn't really make sense. Very much like cash in that way, where yes, I could just hand somebody $100,000 worth of cash and they probably won't pay taxes on it, but it's still not legal to do that. But point is you can do it. And the nice thing about that is doing it something like that, whether it's actually physically handing over a device to somebody or giving your 12 words to somebody else or giving somebody in your family your QR code and password for your super backed access. The nice thing about that is there's no transaction there. There's no on-chain transaction. So there's nobody would ever know that you no longer have that Bitcoin. So that's kind of cool. You can't do that with any other asset outside of gold, silver, or cash. You can't hand an asset over to anybody. Well, of significant value anyways. I mean, you could give a fucking hockey card to somebody without anybody knowing. But of significant value, Bitcoin you can do that with. And so I mean, you should be thinking about things like that. You should be thinking about, when you leave this earth, when your time comes, where's your Bitcoin going to? Who's getting it? Is it your kid? Is it your dog? Is it your brother? Is it your wife, spouse, husband? Who's getting it? And do they know how to restore it? I honestly feel like 98% of Bitcoiners have no plan for this. Zero. And there's going to be a lot of Bitcoin that gets lost because of that. It's not factored in. It's not factored into lost coins yet. But the thing about that is when we look at like the ownership of Bitcoin, I think 5% is considered lost right now. I think 70% is owned by individuals. So it'll be moving between individual wallets to lost coins. So it's not going to have a huge impact, but they're never going to move then though. They're going to be out of circulation forever. Once they're lost, I'm sure we've already, come to that point with a lot of people. But here's the other part too. And this is something that actually happened last week to me. And somebody called me and said, I'm looking to move a sizable amount of Bitcoin into my own custody. I want to take self-custody of it because of a situation that happened with Coinbase recently. And so what happened on Coinbase was that this guy bought some Bitcoin for his dad. His dad was older, let's say 85 years old. And so his son bought some Bitcoin for him, did everything, created an account on Coinbase, put in his ID, did a little selfie thing probably with his dad. And then his dad passed away about a year later, just recently. And that's a problem. That's a big problem that he's going through right now because he's been trying to get a hold of Coinbase. Coinbase said, you need to send us all these documents verifying that he is indeed dead, that you are indeed his son. What a fucking headache that is. And the worst part is that after sending all these documents in, Coinbase basically just stopped talking to him. There's nowhere to phone Coinbase. They won't answer the chat or emails from him anymore. He's having a very difficult time contacting Coinbase. So basically what we're trying right now is to contact them via Twitter. Isn't that sad? That the only way to get a hold of like the biggest Bitcoin company on the planet is through Twitter, DMs, or mentioning Coinbase on Twitter. So these are the things that you need to be thinking about right now, because if you have any, so here's the difference, because like if this guy wouldn't have left his coins on Coinbase, none of this would be an issue. If he set his dad up and bought Bitcoin through Coinbase and then sent it to even like a wallet on his phone, there'd be zero issues now. But because they left it on the exchange and his father passed away, that Bitcoin is now locked up. So that's a very, and this is like a natural thing that happens if you're 85, 90 years old, you're, especially as a male, you're coming to the end here as of now anyways, unless any crazy technology happens. But think about if you had somebody who had a bunch of Bitcoin on a Coinbase account, they got in a car accident. Let's say that I had half a Bitcoin on Coinbase because I didn't, I was getting ready to sell it, or didn't really trust myself to hold it yet. And I got hit by a bus tomorrow. Like that Bitcoin's going to be there for a very long time. And Coinbase is going to be in zero rush to get that to your family. And you're going to have to get lawyers involved. You're going to have to get all these different people involved in the process here. It's going to be a massive headache. So if you are brand new to Bitcoin, I think that it is okay to leave your Bitcoin on exchange for a couple weeks, a couple months while you kind of get your security in place, get a little bit of knowledge. But after that, get your Bitcoin off the exchanges, because you don't want to be in a situation like this. It's a nightmare. So you should be actively thinking about getting your Bitcoin off the exchange. I'm thinking most people who watch this show already have done that. But if you are somebody who's and this is the same for like a Bitcoin ETF. with the stock exchange. I know it's a little bit, it'll probably be more accessible than Coinbase would be, but still, the nice thing about Bitcoin is you have the ability to do this without having a whole bunch of like bullshit involved, right? You get your Bitcoin, you get into your own self custody, and you share that 12 words or the ability to access that with somebody else. You don't need all that anymore. That's a very underappreciated part of Bitcoin. So you don't need that anymore. All right, what do we have here? Jay says, Jor will be tasked with distributing my wallet. Yeah, I think I'll be tasked with that for a lot of people who watch this show. And that's okay. I'm happy to help. That's part of our, part of the SUBSTACK, outside of being like the most secure way to store your Bitcoin. The nice thing about the SUBSTACK protocol is that it has an inheritance thing built into it, where you have a very detailed plan of what to do with your Bitcoin, or what to do, how to give it to your family, the steps to take, other things to have in place like a will or a trust. The whole detailed breakdown you get as a part of that. And then if something were to happen to you, you're going to have two guys, myself and another guy, Craig, who can help your family restore it. And probably by that time, hopefully we'll have about 100 more people working for us. So something to think about there is SUBSTACK and the inheritance side of things. Buck 52,000. This is a good question. Do you think that the powers that be are a little nervous about Bitcoin and what it can accomplish? Yeah, I do. I do think that. And I think that we've basically had 16 years of like negative press around Bitcoin, negative marketing around Bitcoin, because that's all that they can really do. And there's a lot of times where they don't even like attack Bitcoin, but they do other things like the XRP thing that happened last week. That was a complete distraction. All the money that went into XRP last week should have went into Bitcoin, but it didn't, because we have so much bullshit out there that, you know, between the media, between governments, between influencers on Twitter, influencers on YouTube, you have all this FUD, and that's pretty much their only counter against Bitcoin. Because what you want to do in Bitcoin, we're in a very unique spot right now, very unique opportunity within Bitcoin. Number one, the fact that you can get such cheap Bitcoin, you can still trade $1 for 1,000 sats in the US. That's a huge opportunity. People in 20 years from now will kill to be here during that time, which we are. We're here right now. So there's opportunity for accumulating sats, but there's also an opportunity to get your shit together before this becomes an actual threat. So basically what you want to do in Bitcoin overall, you want to do a couple things. You want to get as many sats as you can. You want to make sure that if somebody ever came to your house, they couldn't do anything. There's no way for them to get your Bitcoin. And you want to have a plan in place where if something were to happen to you, you know, God forbid, that you have an ability your family has an ability to restore that Bitcoin. Otherwise, it seems to me like you have a wasted life, because Bitcoiners, they take all their time and energy from the past, whatever they've done, whatever value they've added to the world, they take that and they store that within Bitcoin. And if you don't have a plan to pass that on to your next generation, I feel like that's a wasted life, because you did all this work. You added all this value to the world, whatever you've been doing to earn money. You converted that into Bitcoin, but then you were too lazy. You procrastinated, and that Bitcoin's gone. It's wasted. And yes, some people say, well, it's good for the Bitcoin network. Who cares? I obviously care about the Bitcoin network, but like I'm much more concerned with my family than the Bitcoin network. So accumulate, protect it. You never want to be the lowest hanging fruit, whether that's on an exchange, whether that's, you know, your Bitcoin 12 words left out somewhere in your house. Not even that. That's not even low hanging fruit. Be opening emails. Like you never want to be the lowest hanging fruit in anything. So number one is get your Bitcoin off the exchange. But the last part there is make sure that when something happens to you, because it could happen today. It could. I'm 36 years old. And, you know, I intend to be here for another 100 years, but it doesn't really matter what I intend, right? Could be gone today. I heard Arnie sigh there. He doesn't want that. He needs somebody to keep feeding them. There. Look at him. What a good dog. What a good boy. Look at this. Laughpad says, do you ever just stop and think about how fucking lucky we are to have Bitcoin? There's an alternate reality where we don't have Bitcoin, and that place sucks. Yeah, that's 100%. 100%. And not only are we very lucky to be here at this time in history, but we're very lucky that Bitcoin exists. Because if Bitcoin didn't exist, we would be in a whole world of problems. And, you know, before I got into Bitcoin, before I started trading my time and energy for Bitcoin, I was in the same kind of spot as that. I was very, I was black-pilled. My hope for the future was non-existent. I thought that we were being ushered into a surveilled, controlled, I don't know what you'd call it, nightmare, dystopian nightmare. That's what I thought was happening. I didn't see any other way around it. But then I learned about Bitcoin, and I learned that there is hope here. And yeah, I agree with that. Things could be a whole lot worse. A whole lot worse than they are. So God bless Satoshi. Yes, this is a great point. Lappad says, it's not about avoiding taxes, but to avoid on-chain data. Bingo. Bingo, bingo, bingo. And Mishdog says, Jor, these people swear the government and these institutions wouldn't trust us. Sweet. These people swear the government and these institutions wouldn't treat us sweet people so badly. Fuck them respectfully. Self-custody is the only way in my eyes. I completely agree with that. I do. For a slew of reasons. And if you've ever actually sent your own Bitcoin transaction on layer one, if you've went through the whole process of creating the transaction, of setting the fee, of signing the transaction, of broadcasting that transaction, once you do that one time, your life changes forever. Forever. There's no going back to the old system once you've sent one Bitcoin transaction. And that doesn't count as a zap. That doesn't count as moving Bitcoin from an exchange to your cold wallet. Going through the process of actually sending a Bitcoin transaction, setting up yourself, asking nobody, setting your own fee, setting your own priority for it, and seeing that transaction go through without anybody's permission. It's life-changing, truly. It's liberating. And if you haven't done that yet, I highly suggest you take some time, do it. Even if it's a very small amount, go through the process of sending Bitcoin on layer one. Aquanetta. Wow, what a great name that is. Aquanetta. Says, hey, Jor, I'm Renita's sister. Wow, we got Renita and Aquanetta in the chat today. Good morning and welcome. It's great to have you here today. Alan in Decentraland says, the government can lick my plate. Oh, that's good stuff. Amen to that. Oh, man, that is good, good, good. All right, oh, yeah, I see My Path to Fire over here on the Zap stream. Good morning, My Path to Fire. I see a couple Zaps here. Let's check them out. Let's check them out. If it'll open. There we go. All right, we got a good crew over on Zap stream this morning. I'd love to see that. All right, what do we got here? We had an 88 sat zap, and we got a 100 sat zap. And one of them is from My Path to Fire. I can't see it. Just says NPubs right now. But My Path to Fire also says, without Bitcoin by Satoshi, we would be screwed. Oh, and Bodhi zapped 88. Thank you, Bodhi. Thank you, thank you. Laughpad says, dude, so true that first on-chain transaction feels so free. It's like ordering something on Amazon and then getting the package about 10 minutes later. That's true. That is true. It's crazy. It's honestly crazy. And look at this. We got Bendero says, thanks for the gift to Locksky. Okay. Well, we covered some good topics today. I kind of want to introduce an idea to people here before we go. Ooh, can I give away sats from Bitcoin Well today? Let's see if I can. Bitcoinwell.com. Who wants some free sats? It might be tough today though, because I only have one screen. We want the sats. We want the sats. All right, let's give away some biddy. Who wants the biddy? Okay, I don't know why I'm chanting here. This is stupid. Hey, Joe, we're live on the internet. There's people watching you. Okay, let's go to get your Lightning wallets out. Get them opened up. Point them at the screen. And the first person to scan this QR code is going to win some sats today. And I got a feeling it's going to be a big one today. So get yourself ready. Get yourself set. And go. What do we got today? Oh, I knew it. 2,100 sats. $2,100 sats, and I'm gonna jump in on this too. See how fast people are. I would say I'm about 99% sure it's been claimed. But if you're snoozing, you're losing here. I'm going to steal it from you. Or am I? Nope. I figured it would be. It took me about a minute to do that, so I was fucking horrible. Horrible speed. Okay. So that's a good day for somebody there, that's for sure. 2,100 sats. You're going to get... somebody sent me 10,000 sats as well on... I don't know how that happened. When was that? Last night. Huh. And somebody sent in 1 sat. Look at that. Hey, 1 sat. We'll take it. We will take it. Sci-fi says, Yo Jor and Arnie, I love your show. Well, thank you. Thank you. And look at this. We got Bill says, holy moly, I got that. Congrats, Bill. And congrats, yes. Nice work, man. My first Lightning transaction. Oh, that's a pretty good start. Pretty hot start. And we got 1 sat zap. I like that, 1 sat. Okay, so those sats were courtesy of the Bitcoin Well. My favorite place to buy Bitcoin. My favorite place to sell Bitcoin if I ever needed to. My favorite place to swap Bitcoin. And I actually have a recurring buy set up on Bitcoin Well now where I send about $20 a week, comes automatically out of my bank account. It converts directly into Bitcoin, which gets sent to my Lightning wallet. And so every couple months, I move that Bitcoin, either using it for free, the swap option on Bitcoin Well, or I use Aqua Wallet to swap it from Lightning to on-chain and then send it to my cold storage with 1 UTXO. So you have to be very careful of that when you're buying Bitcoin on exchanges. You don't want to be sending it to cold storage every time. You're going to create an absolute nightmare for yourself. So get in the habit of either using an exchange like Bitcoin Well that has Lightning capability where you can let it build up in your wallet and then you swap it to on-chain and then you send it to your cold storage. Or just use Bitcoin Well directly. So again, this is my exact process here. I set up a recurring buy on Bitcoin Well. So every week, it's only like $20, which is good for people who don't have a steady income coming in. $20, I feel like I should have that in my account every week. And if I don't, I got bigger problems. But $20 a week, it automatically gets pulled out of my bank account. It gets automatically converted into sats. It gets automatically sent to my Lightning wallet. And then again, every few months, I let it build up. And let's say I get to 200,000 sats, 250,000 sats. Then I use Bitcoin Well again, the swap feature, where I send it to my QR code there, and it gets sent to my cold storage. 0 fees along the way. 0 fees in that whole process. The lowest transaction fees, number one, with Bitcoin Well, and then I pay 0 transaction fees to send a larger UTXO to my cold storage. It is a beautiful, beautiful way to do it. So there you go. You can get to bitcoinwell.com/Jor, get yourself an account. Just try them out. That's what I would suggest. Just try them out. Take like $100, $200, whatever you got kicking around. Try out the platform and see how you like it. I guarantee you're going to be using it as your number one spot to buy Bitcoin. bitcoinwell.com/Jor. And if you use that link, you get 5 free tosses into the wishing well, which is the equivalent of a lot of free sats. There we got another zap here from this one. See, usually when on my normal laptop, I use this arm to show that. So things are completely backwards here today. Anyways, you can scan that, send Arnie some sats, and somebody sent 1,000 sats. That's from Clean Your Machine, looks like. My first test zap worked. Sorry for one, more to come. Hey, I'm not ever going to turn down 1 sat. Most people would, but most people aren't me. Mish Dog says, how do I feel about Sparrow? That's a great question. I think that every person here should be using Sparrow one way or the other. Sparrow is the best place to store Bitcoin, the best place to manage your Bitcoin, the best place to create transactions, the best place to manage your UTXOs, the best place to keep track of your different labels and funds. Sparrow is the best wallet that exists by far. There's not even a wallet that comes close. Unfortunately, it is only on desktop, which makes it a little bit more challenging for people, but that's okay. And so here's your ideal setup. You get yourself a Sparrow wallet. You create a hot wallet within that. You don't need like a cold card or a Jade or anything. You can download the Sparrow wallet on your laptop. You can create a new software wallet from Sparrow. You don't need a device. And you put a password on there. Don't forget the password. Write it down somewhere, very importantly. So write down your 12 words, write down your password, keep it in the safe or keep it somewhere safe, and just try using Sparrow for a while. And then when you get to the point where you're ready for a hardware wallet, let's say you want to get a cold card or a Jade or whatever, then you're much more familiar with Sparrow wallet at that time. And that's going to be important because that's where you're going to be storing your family's wealth for the rest of your life. So get familiar with Sparrow. You can try it out, 0 risk, put some sats on there. Yes, it's hot. It's connected to the internet. And if somebody gets access to your laptop, they can steal your Bitcoin. So there are risks to it, but you can just consider it as an investment. Put some sats on there, get used to it, and consider that an investment that hopefully you'll never lose. But in case you do, just consider it an investment in your Bitcoin education. Okay, LaughPad says, I don't know why I can't put a message on my Strike Lightning sends. Oh, well, sent 1,000 sats. It's not much yet, but I appreciate you. Okay, so that was LaughPad then. Oops. Everyone's getting credit today. Morning, Zane. Sparrow is the GOAT. Absolutely. Sparrow's taught me a lot about transactions, that and Noah. There you go, Bodhi. There you go. Shout out to Noah. Noah is one of our amazing advisors, Bitcoin Citadel. I've been talking about Bitcoin Citadel for a while, and we've been helping people. We're just not officially live yet. So Noah is one of the advisors. Bitcoin Citadel, I think, is going to be the biggest. If you give us about 2 years, give us 2 years. Remember this day, January 27th. Give us 2 years. Bitcoin Citadel is going to be the best Bitcoin advisory firm that exists. I guarantee it. Because we got the best people, we have the best mindset, we have the best rates by far, and we're in the business of helping people. That's it. And when your mission is to help more people, then you don't leave with too many sour customers. And when you leave with happy customers, they tell other people about it. And so give us a bit of time. But in a couple of years from now, Bitcoin Citadel is going to be the best the most highly respected and best reviewed Bitcoin advisory firm that exists. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Jason says, I cannot successfully set up a Sparrow 24-word wallet and a passphrase. Why? Why not? What's the problem? Tells me I failed every single time. I don't know what the problem with that would be. Like a hot wallet you're talking, Jay? Eastdog says, okay, cool, because I have a Jade and I buy KYC and send to Sparrow and then from Sparrow to Jade. So I guess not too bad. So what are you connecting your Jade with then? Green? When the Bitcoin that I have on Jade, well, I don't have it on Jade. Jade's my sign device, but I connect it with Sparrow. Teach us how to coin join. Oh, I won't be teaching that on the internet, that's for sure. People go to jail for that kind of stuff, my friend. And I'm not going to be one of those people. I got too much shit to do here. So I think we're going to wrap it up there. I got a meeting here in about 10 minutes. So I want to say a couple things before we go. First of all, shout out to Arnie for being here today, for showing up for the full show today. Thank you for all the zaps today from Zapstream and from the YouTube version of Zapstream. And we got Noah in the chat today, right there. Look at that. Good morning, Noah. And thank you for being here today. I've been talking quite a bit about MicroStrategy. I'm actually going to do another video here shortly, talking about a couple follow-up items of MicroStrategy. But I titled the show today, Create Your Own Bitcoin Stockpile. Because I just find that there's too many people out there who are like, hoping that the US starts stockpiling Bitcoin. They're cheering on Michael Saylor as he buys another 10,000 Bitcoin on Monday. And it's like, do you understand what's happening here? I mean, yes, the price is going to go up, but this isn't a good thing. You should be focused on one thing and one thing only, which is creating your own stockpile, being your own Michael Saylor for your family. The reason why MicroStrategy has been so successful is because all the big capital in this world can't buy Bitcoin. They can't. There's no way for these people to buy and hold Bitcoin on their own. Like big hedge funds, billionaires, these big investment firms, they actually can't hold Bitcoin today. And that's why Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy have become so popular, and why there's so much demand for MicroStrategy shares. That's why there's so much demand for the convertible debt that Saylor's putting out there, which increases the value for shareholders. But the reason why it's so popular is because they can't buy Bitcoin. But you can. And if these people could buy and hold Bitcoin, they would be doing that. They wouldn't be buying somebody else to hold it for them and to manage it for them and to trust them. They would be doing it themselves. So that's why everybody's buying MicroStrategy shares and buying their debt, or giving them money to buy Bitcoin, is because they can't buy Bitcoin. But you can. And so I want you to take that seriously and forget all the distractions here, forget all the noise, focus on two things. Number one, accumulating Bitcoin, and number two, protecting that Bitcoin. That's it. Be the Michael Saylor for your own family. Because what he's building is special at a very high level, though. You can build your exact same version of that. And if you understand where Bitcoin's going to be in 100 years from now, you can start doing that today for your own family. Not for your shareholders, not for, as a public company. You can start doing that today, and you don't need anybody's permission. So that's what you should be focused on. Jay says, I followed BTC sessions last week when he dropped the future bit Apollo and tried 3 times. Oh, I haven't even heard or seen any of that. Sorry, Jay. I'm a little bit behind on that. It's hard keeping up. Alex says nostr in all caps. Yes, that is a good point. Get yourself onto nostr. I didn't really do a nostr ad today, but that's okay. We'll be back tomorrow. All right, so we got 62 people in here. We got 65 likes. That's pretty good. There's been a lot of people coming in and out of here today. But we're going to leave it there. We're going to leave it there. So I hope you guys have a great Monday today. Thank you again. I know that the show was a little bit scrambly today, but I only got one screen here. So it's going to be a little bit different today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Alan says every sat is sacred. Every sat is great. If a sat is wasted, God gets quite irate. It's true, though. It's absolutely true. And this is what I shared on. This is what I shared on nostr this morning. Buck 52,000 says, my family are my shareholders. 100%. This is the post that I made this morning. I said, good morning, nostr. Your family are your shareholders. Be your own Michael Saylor. You're building your own Bitcoin stockpile. Be your own US government. The truth. Forget the bullshit. Forget the bullshit. Forget the distractions. Get your tiger vision, get your laser eyes, and just start accumulating and protecting for your family. That's it. It's all there is. It's all that matters. We have the ability to do this thing without trusting anybody else, and we're gonna do that. So, have a great day, everybody. Do you want to say bye, Arnie? Oh, he's dreaming. You can see his paws moving there. He's dreaming right now. I woke up. Okay, so have yourselves a great day. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you right back here first thing tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.